I'm just a girl that loves a good Turkish show. All right, welcome back, Disney fans. We are back for another Turkish series review. Today we're going to talk about the series Vatanim Sensin, You Are My Home, aka Wounded Love, that came out in 2016 and ran for 2 seasons. This is a historical drama and romance Turkish series that takes place at the end of the Ottoman Empire during the Balkan Wars, when Turkey was fighting for its independence after World War I. The Turks and Greeks have been enemies for a long time, and I would even say that they are not very friendly even to this day. Parts of Turkey were under Greek occupation during the fight for independence, led by the great Mustafa Kemal, aka Ataturk. Now, if you don't know who Ataturk is, he is basically the George Washington of Turkey. Go look him up. He is a hero to all the Turks. So, the Greeks and Turks are fighting, and Turkish soldier Cevdet and his family, they live near the front lines. Now, Cevdet is a very patriotic soldier in the Turkish National Forces, fighting for his family and his homeland. And one day, he is betrayed by his very close and dear friend and fellow soldier Tevik. Now, this was done while the city was currently under attack. Cevdet is shot in the back and left for dead as the Greeks are closing in on the town. Cevdet's wife, Azize, and their children are forced to flee the area with only the clothes on their backs and barely escape the Greek soldiers marching towards them. They make their way to Izmir with the help of Tevik, unaware of his evil deed. The city of Izmir is also under Greek occupation, but it's a lot safer than being near the front lines where the actual fighting is taking place. Now, Aziza is completely unaware of Tevik's betrayal and completely trusts in him. Aziza later gets word that her husband Cevdet has died on the front lines, leaving her and her 3 children all alone during very perilous times. But no worries, guys, because Tevik, the snake, will be there to assist her and her family with whatever they may need. So we find out that Tevik has actually secretly been in love with Aziza for years and now hopes to take Cevdet's place in her heart and her home. He completely takes advantage of Aziza's trust in him and the fact that Cevdet is no longer around. Until one day, many years later, Cevdet makes a surprise appearance in Izmir alive and well and dressed up in a Greek uniform, marching alongside the Greek soldiers coming to bring more oppression to Izmir and the Turks living there. Cevdet is presented by the Greeks as a Turk who, quote-unquote, saw the light and deflected to the Greek side of the war to help them prevail against Ataturk and bring the Greek way of life to Turkey permanently. This sends Azize, her children, and Cevdet's mother into complete and utter shock mode as they are unable to wrap their heads around the fact that Cevdet is not dead and has become a traitor to Turkey. But what no one knows is that Cevdet is secretly working for Ataturk as a spy and has big plans to destroy the Greek army from within. However, he was ordered not to tell anyone about his top secret mission, including his family, which brings great distress to them all. Cevdet's family are all patriots, trying to help the Turks overcome the Greeks in one way or another, so seeing Cevdet on the Greek side is devastating. Cevdet is grieved beyond words about having to play this game as he has to watch his family suffer through a lot of stuff, guys. Cevdet's family pretty much despise him at this point and want nothing to do with him, and they all have to make really difficult decisions regarding their lives, impacting Cevdet's ability to complete his mission with a clear mind. Cevdet has moments of weakness when he just wants to give up, especially when he has to watch the Turks being killed and tortured by the Greek army he is commanding. I cannot even imagine his pain, guys. Both Aziza and Cevdet are torn between their great love for each other and their love for Turkey. Cevdet wants nothing more than to tell them the truth and come back home, but unfortunately this will have to wait. Everyone will be tested by Cevdet's mission and great sacrifices will have to be made. But to Cevdet and Aziza, it's all worth it because nothing is more important than saving the homeland and winning the war so that all the Turks can be free. Cevdet's character is actually based on a real guy named Mustafa Aksoy Pasha, who was part of the Turkish National Forces. I don't know how much of the series is based on true events, but I can tell you this: the Turks are very proud of their history, so I bet there are a lot of scenarios in this show that really did happen. There is nothing that a Turk won't do to fight for his homeland, and that includes women and children. Aziza and her children are very involved in the war effort, and they all do their part to fight the Greeks, no matter how insignificant it may seem. Cevdet's entire family are freedom fighters, and they display true courage even when faced with imprisonment and even death. Aziza and Cevdet's chemistry in this show is quite palpable throughout the series. I learned after watching the show that Aziza and Cevdet are actually married in real life, which makes a lot of sense because the level of passion they display for each other was on a whole nother level. All right, now Cevdet and Aziza's love story is not the only story in this show. We also see that Cevdet's daughter falls in love with the Greek soldier, and that takes on a life of its own, as you can imagine. But we're not covering their story here today, although it is a very intense story in its own right. This show had me on the edge of my seat, and I cried a lot. Some of the scenes are very hard to watch, and I think it's because I know that this type of stuff really happened. The atrocities of war are unfortunately a reality, but I was truly inspired watching the great sacrifices that Cevdet and his family made to fight for the freedom of their homeland. Guys, this show is one of my top favorite Turkish series, and I highly recommend watching it. I don't want to give away too many spoilers, but I will say that the ending was absolutely gut-wrenching, and it affected me for several days. Bravo to the writers for another outstanding script, and to the actors for an amazing performance. I will never forget this series, guys. Go watch it for yourself and see if Cevdet and Azize are able to win the war and be a family again. You can check it out on watchturks.tv with English subtitles. And don't forget to like, share, and sub to the channel, guys. And until next time, gule gule.